In today's video, I want to share with you the simplest swing training drill you can use to increase your club head speed so you can bomb it by your buddies and shave strokes off your game. And the best part is, you don't need any of these products. Increasing swing speed directly boosts your potential for distance and overall performance, specifically lowering your handicap, and that's what we're all here for, right? Mark Brody, author of Every Shot Counts, states that for 20 yards gained in distance, a scratch golfer can shave 0.75 strokes off their round. A 5 handicap golfer can shave 1 stroke. A 10 handicap golfer can shave 1.3 strokes. And a 20 handicap golfer can shave a solid 1.7 strokes off their round. That's solid progress or solid gains right there. Plus, wouldn't it feel amazing to have the confidence knowing you could ramp up your club head speed and distance if the situation called for it? Stick around to the end. We're going to hit the range together, and I'm going to share with you one of the absolute best swing drills for increasing your club head speed. Don't get me wrong, I love some of the speed training systems that are out there. In fact, I own many of them. I even use the stack system in my own journey of road to scratch before 50. But when my clients first start out, many of them don't have access to speed training systems. So when the time comes, I just have them use their driver, and to be honest, the results are very similar. Training with your driver has some real advantages. Not only are the results very comparable, but you're going to start to build up the comfort and familiarity with the actual tool you'll be using on the golf course. You can actually feel and adjust your swing in real time, making it really a perfect training tool. Now let's talk about some challenges with speed work. There's an increased risk of injury, especially if you haven't checked off the prerequisites. As I always say, speed systems aren't for everybody right out of the box. Physically, there are 2 major prerequisites that need to be met before you start speed training. The first is mobility, and you need to have mobility specifically in the 4 main rotary centers of the body: the neck, the shoulders, thoracic spine, and the hips. If you would like to see how you stack up in this test, go ahead and check the caption below for a link to a self-assessment. The second is strength. You need to have a base level of strength and tissue resiliency. Your body needs to handle the various forces of the golf swing. And the stronger you are, the more force you can generate, giving you the more potential to create power and speed. If you can't punch yourself out of a wet paper bag, your risk of injury skyrockets, while your ability to actually create club head speed is going to decrease significantly. Another risk, especially during the golf season, is overuse injuries. I'm going to circle back to that here in a second. Finally, technique is key. Some coaches believe that speed systems actually help with technique, specifically shifting that pressure into that lead leg, while other coaches don't really like it that much because they feel it reinforces bad habits if they're not careful. Okay, let's shift gears here now and give you some of the technicalities. So, when to speed train and how much. So first off, it's ideal in a perfect world to speed train a day after either a round of golf or a strength training session. Okay, I'll be honest, most of my clients, they're not high-end professionals, so they don't have that kind of time. The second option is to speed train on the same day you strength train, but beforehand. And so again, with my clientele, the majority of them don't have that kind of time to devote to it. So we kind of follow this third option here, which again is kind of the third in the hierarchy, but it really fits with myself and all my clients' schedules, and that is to speed train on every other day or on alternate days between strength training. So let's just say we strength train on Monday, we can speed train on Tuesday, strength train on Wednesday, speed train on Thursday, and so on. This works really well during the season because your training during the season, though intense, is not meant to beat you down. So you should recover okay. You may not be 100% fresh, but you should be good enough to go to move forward and actually speed train. Whereas in the off season, we may need to be able to push that a little bit more. Now again, we'll get into that here in a second with off-season frequency, but we can have a little bit more freedom with how many days off because golf is pretty much out of the equation. In terms of frequency, 2 to 3 times during the season is plenty. Probably 2 is your sweet spot. Early off season, when you are kind of getting away from golf, taking a break, 1 time a week is max, is plenty. Even if you wanted to get rid of it for a couple months, that'd be totally fine as well. And then as you kind of lead into your preseason and getting into the season, ramping it up to 2, and then again, even 3 times per week would be fine. Next is warming up. It still blows my mind that golfers don't warm up. A warm up from a body standpoint, reduces your risk of injury, and it allows you, especially if you do a proper warm-up, allows you to actually gain 45 yards of distance right off the first tee. It doesn't mean you gain 45 yards, it just means that you have access to 45 yards that you probably don't have for the first number of holes until you actually feel warm when you start hitting the ball further. So why not do that from the first tee and actually have a chance to score from the first tee box? And with any good physical warm-up, you want to kind of accomplish 4 things. You want to elevate your body temperature, you want to mobilize your joints, you want to activate your muscles, and you want to stimulate your nervous system. If you guys need a proper warm-up, check the caption down below. There's a link to the Golfer Survival Toolkit. Not only do you get a pre-round warm-up, you get a post-round routine, recovery routine, as well as an in-season kind of, or in-round when shit happens type thing. Excuse my language, but in case you seize up during a round or you start to lose mobility, a couple of drills I like to do during my round of golf that can actually help you restore some of that mobility. And there's also a pre and during round nutrition document in there as well. So if you don't have that, go ahead and grab that down below. And then also with warming up, once you do your physical warm up, you want to do a little bit of golf prep. So it might be some swing drills or some feels or technique that you're working on. Next is you absolutely have to have radar. It's feedback, and without the feedback, even though I'm going to hammer home how much intent matters and how much you need to swing with max intensity, if you don't have that number, you may think you're swinging hard, but unless you have that number there to actually tell you where you need to go and where what you need to beat, you're probably not going to swing with the intensity that you absolutely need. So radar is absolutely a must. Good thing is radar, especially the PRGR or the Stack system, they're like $250, $300 max, very affordable for us golfers. Now, in terms of swing drills, I'm actually going to go over that in this video. Things like step drills or exaggerated swings, double step drills, that kind of thing. That's a little bit more specific to the individual. So if you are just taking cuts with your driver, or you are using a ball, which we'll get into in a second with some protocols, 15 to 20 seconds of rest in between each swing is mandatory. And in between sets, I would take at least 2 minutes rest. If you don't have a protocol, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps or 8 to 10 swings, it'd be a perfect way to get started. And finally, here we have our take it to the course protocol. 4 steps here. The first step is radar. All the steps have radar. Radar and no ball. Basically just dry swings. You are measuring your swing speed. You're trying to get faster just by swinging a golf club. The second phase, once you graduate from the first, is radar and a ball into a net. And if you're in a simulator, just put up your club head speed and your ball speed. Don't do the range view. I don't want you to get too worried about where the ball is going at this point in time. Phase 3, which I'm going to show you here in a second on the range, is basically radar, ball, and having an open range, or if you're on the sim, putting up the range screen so you can see ball flight. We're going to go over I feel is arguably the best drill and the easiest drill for everybody to get started with, but you can do a bunch of other drills here as well. There's a number of other drills I use, like 3-strike club head speed or 3-strike ball speed drills. And then finally, phase 4 of this protocol is radar, ball, and on the golf course. This one can get a little tricky because obviously there's other people involved, whether it's the group behind you or the people you're playing with may not know what you're doing or may not feel comfortable doing that, and that's totally fine. But if you have the opportunity to actually get on the golf course with your radar and get after it, it's a great way to build up that confidence, and that, again, to actually know when you can take that swing to the golf course. All right, gang, we're back on the range here for the last 10 drills. This is take 2. First take was way too windy, I scrapped it. So the last 10 drills, basically what we're doing here is the phase 3 of my 4-phase protocol. It's basically we have radar, we got the ball, and now we're on the range so we can see ball flight. I'm still not like utterly concerned about ball flight. It's still about speed, but now we're starting to kind of build some data and start building some confidence when you're getting after it as fast as you can and making contact with the ball and seeing that ball flight. The last 10 drills, basically reserving 10 balls out of your bucket. It can be the last 10 balls if you like, as the title suggests, or you can reserve 10 and do it maybe as you start, so you're fresh. Either way, just make sure you get a good warm up in. Okay, and once you do that, ramp up your swings to get up to close to your max club head speed. So for me, I'm at 112 club head speed with a ball, so that's what I'm trying to beat. So I want to at least try and get to like 110 or so. In terms of going forward, you can add 5 balls every other week. And so you get up to a max of 30. Any more than 30, that's pretty much of a really intense swing speed session. And I'd rather, especially for some of you who may not have the prerequisites, 30 balls is plenty, okay? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's give this a go. I'm a 16 handicap, so this ball can basically go anywhere. And it has been. So we're trying to get 112 or more. hit that off the toe, hit it out left. 113 must be the camera or the filming that kind of increased my adrenaline. Now I hit it like crap, but 113 is a new number I've never seen before, so that's great. Let me see if I can get another 113 or even get 114 to be great. And again, this could go anywhere. Hit that pretty well. Oh, leaking left. And 111. I gave it all I had, but you guys get the idea. So you got your radar that gives you the number, that gives you some feedback, so you can always try to beat your number. Absolutely key to have that radar. Guys, that's your last 10 drill. All right, crew, there you have it. If you meet the prerequisites, I strongly encourage you to add the last 10 drill to your weekly practice routine. If you found this video useful, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you don't want to miss future content, find the sweet spot of that subscribe button. And remember, you got to get strong if you want to play long.